Shalom, family. Shalom, family. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1. In the third year of his reign of Jehoiakim, King Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hands, with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat, and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now among these were of the children of Judah Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah of Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse, looking than the young men or children which are of your sort or of your age? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Meaning test the servants. I tell you 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. It's interesting because I just had that on my mind today. Like I've been drinking a lot of water, but even like with the food I cook, it's a lot more vegetables. Crazy amount. And I feel better. I feel different. My sharpness, my alertness, my stamina is crazy. It's funny. I used to be lazy, not lazy, but you will feel it. But yeah, your body is your temple. You must take care of it. I'm realizing that even today. God is good, y'all. He's so good. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this manner, and proved them 10 days, or tested them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and flatter and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Oh man, that's deep. Partaking in the king's festivities. And it's like king is like an eagle and in that capacity, and just that pride to hold on to the things that you know are not good for you. Because society conditioned us to think that they are really good for us. Like going to the club and getting drunk and not being able to know how you found your way home. You know, partaking in all these festivities, you know, that's not the food for our mind, body, and spirit that we're supposed to be. Ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not these unclean things. And I'm realizing that even today. To feel different and to be different, even just to 10 days, just to 10 years. We're not the same people after 10 years. I know 10 years ago, my world changed. And August is a month that will kind of predicate that for me in my own life personally. So y'all pray for me. But to see how time heals wounds, which is good. And peace is peaceful. To be able to allow God to test you, to make you better, to make you fatter, to make you fairer than your previous selves, that you were scared to let go, to allow the new rebirth and a new feeling of the new you. And whether it's 10 days, 10 years, 10 weeks, pay attention to the progress. You know, it's easy to look all the way up at the mountaintop of Mount Everest and be like intimidated by it. But sometimes you have to just take the tests that are given to you one step, one moment, one task, 1 second at a time in order to achieve. So yeah. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse or vegetables. As for these 4 children, or young men, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Now at the end of the days that the king had said he should bring them in, then the prince of the eunuchs the chief of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. And the king communed with them, and among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. Meaning none of them talked. And it's amazing when you have that, when you can go around and people look at you like, man, you don't talk like the rest of these brothers. You're not ghetto. You're not, you're not misplaced. You're not ignorant. You carry yourself in a different capacity than most people out here. And that's not easy, to be able to walk upright, to be an upstanding man or woman, to be a righteous woman, especially in these times where the devil is working and he's crafty. You're being mocked and harassed and ridiculed and criticized for taking your 10 toes stance on walking on the side of righteousness with the Most High. That's hard in this world, y'all. We were born into a world of sin, a whole Willy Wonka world of sin, y'all. Everywhere you go. It's externally and internally that we are constantly fighting these battles. I don't want to say endless because they can end with repentance, prayer, and rebuke. To have the focus and the discipline to not backslide. Do not relapse and go back to these ways. It takes the strength to be able to enhance yourself. And when you start enhancing yourself, you start becoming a greater version, as it says, of yourself. So you start talking and walking much more different than you ever did. Sometimes we just move life in a blur, it's just moving fast, we're in autopilot, but when the world around us acknowledges or notices that that's what's the occurrence with you, whether you get validation or not, pat yourself on the back, give all praise to the Most High. A lot of times we go around trying to seek validation from others and comfort and companionship, and it becomes unhealthy, and toxic. That we do all of these crazy things to appease and get validation between each other, and the amount of peer pressure, the amount of pirate ship shark plank walking of how much do you love me, and mentality that we have created, where the inevitable disappointments, expectations are the gatekeepers to heartbreak. So when we start operating different and people look at us like, you're different, so you have to talk and walk different now. You have to become a better version, you need to become the greater version of who you are supposed to be right now. Every day is a brand new, fresh start. You pray before you go to bed. You don't let the sun set on your grief and your wrath, because you might not wake up in the morning. And when you do, pray. Give the highest praise that you can. Put your hands to the air and be ready to go back at it. Talk is cheap and actions are expensive. It takes a lot to get up and do the work. It really is. So talking, you can get manipulated by people that talk all day, but when you start seeing actions, whether they're good or bad, but let's stay on the good. When you start seeing good actions, it starts becoming, and bad. It becomes infectious in a positive way or a negative way, obviously. But and in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. And Daniel continued even unto the first year of King Cyrus. And when you're better than all, and you don't rub it in nobody's face, you ain't trying to be mean, but when God has given you a different speciality or different talents and gifts, not everybody can lift 1,000 pounds. Not everybody knows how to knit a quilt. Not everybody can cook. We all have something that we bring to the table. And envy and jealousy forces you to overly take serious what God has ordained on another person's path than yours. Sometimes we get mad about other people going on their path and stuff like that. No, you stay on your beaded path when there's no traffic, when you mind your business, you stay in your own lane, you lock in, you get focused. The Most High starts allowing you to see your greatness instead of living vicariously through somebody else's greatness. And you get mad that you can't achieve that greatness. You weren't meant to. You were meant to achieve what you were supposed to achieve. So even when you walk around knowing that you're 10 times better than people, or you conduct yourself 10 times better than people, or your attitude or your patience is 10 times better than people, your anger, your ability to not be angry is 10 times better than people. People get irritated by it because they want to emulate that. They want to be able to achieve that level of achievement or success. How did you accomplish getting to that point? Chapter 2. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him, or left from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians, and the astrologers, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to shew the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have a dream. I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream, or to understand the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me, or the decree is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream, or tell the dream, and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and the interpretation thereof, or tell me the dream. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. We will give the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me, or to certain with. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed, or the situation be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof, or give. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler that acts such things at any magician, or astrologer, or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other there's none other that can show it before the king, except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. So because they didn't give you the answer you wanted, he was ready to just take everybody out. Because they wasn't willing to tell you what you want to hear, and they told you what you need to hear. Sometimes we get really emotional about that. I know that. So, and the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Why is it so urgent? Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning his secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. It's interesting because when God gives you when you know you're chosen, and it's like God is allowing you to know, like, hey, you got these two forks in the road. Which be the path that you're going to go down? You're going to go down the path of Babylon with all these other wise men who think they're wise men, who call themselves wise men, but really are snake oil salesmen? Or you're going to go down this righteous path where evil is constantly making sure you know or feel or think that you're wrong or you're horrible, and and evil comes after you. Evils know how to come together and congregate in a very low frequency and low vibrational level, to group together like a school of fish and to attack you. This is very true. So when you have all these burn the witch antics and things like that, it really does show. It really does show. Back then and now. It's even worse now. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of the God. Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now that we desired of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? It's interesting because when you actually got talent, or you got a gift or speciality, people will try to insult your intelligence or your talent or what the Most High has blessed in your life favorably. And I get it. We've gone through so much history in our timeline where people have been all sizzle and no steak. People have gassed you up and said that, oh, I'm great at this. I can do this. I can, you get the Joel Osteens of the world. You get the Jimmy Swaggarts of the world. And, I can do this. And come to find out that the interpretation was all off or was all wrong. People are very convincing in their argument when they showcase to you, which is a horrible way to go about things. But hey, we are living in a world, and people feel like, oh, I gotta do what I gotta do to get what I gotta get to survive, and I gotta do anybody who I gotta do wrong or right anybody who's in my way. You just happen to be the one today to get it. So when you're having to prove your greatness, sometimes it's definitely not good. It's not healthy to be proving yourself to the Gentiles in 83 and people that are just blasphemous towards the Most High. Protect yourself, because everywhere you go, that you're going to be around that type of environment, point blank, period. But when you're called to stand in your purpose and in your greatness, stand in it with full conviction, um, with a pure meditation in your heart, and knowing that you are a humble servant providing service that is needed for our ministries. We're supposed to be out here ministering and giving a good word. And I know that the world has distracted us so much that we forgot to remain doing that. And it's only so much we can do in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it may be days where I may not do my Bible reading, but it may be days where I may be outside, ministering. And it does take you being able to stand in the gap. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was right there. Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have before than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation of the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them into pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like a shaft of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass or bronze, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, forasmuch as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all things shall it break in pieces and bruises. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay or ceramic clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron, the part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken or brittle. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave or adhere one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron and brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof for sure. Then the king of Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that he should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, Of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal his secrets. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, the chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up on the plain of Dura, and in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judge, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Dang, that's crazy. So it's like it's like guilty by association. Now it's like you didn't hopped into your homie's car who's about to go commit a robbery. It's like you went to help the man to keep him from taking you and all the wise men out. You help him. He assigns you over to be in charge over Babylon, the evilness, and whew, wow. Made you ruler of all of that. And that's what we have now too, is that we have many. It's not even I wouldn't classify Daniel as selling out, but let me just keep it in that context. Like, you have many people who will sell out for the simple fact that they get an opportunity to save their necks. You got people who will fill out job applications for companies that are evil, that look to destroy, people in the business of destroying people, whether it's through the food, whether it's through the service, like insurance companies, all them fires that happen in the Pacific Palisades and Palace, Pasadena, all of the different things that just capitalism has brought forth out, all of the dishonorables. Money has definitely spun out the direction of our moral compass. Our whole existence and being and essence and energy is predicated off of an invisible thing, a a piece of paper, you know. But yeah, and it's like now you become a part of the team that was almost about to take you out. It's almost apocalypto. Apocalypto, he was not trying to conform to what he was looking at his people around, and they just like conforming. He's walking all the way up to the pyramid, and he's confused. Like, man, you got our people. If you can't beat us, you know, when in Rome, yeah, start losing yourself in the services that you provide. Be mindful and conscientious and have discernment in what you partake in, because there may be a backdoor agenda, or you may have missed the small writing that was written in blood. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So it's like, okay, this dude has been spiritual, he's been enlightened, and now you want us worshiping this graven image? Like, that's, he's like, no, I didn't sign up for this. Hold up, like, I didn't get in. I thought I was coming to hang out with you, homie. I didn't know you was going. I didn't know you was going to go rob a bank. I didn't. It's like that's what it smelled like. Dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet or the horn, the flute, harp, sackbut or lyre or lyre, psaltery or dulcimer or pipes, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up." So it's interesting, like, we use the devices that are supposed to help us out. We use them for the wrong reasons, malevolent reasons. This wasn't supposed to be used to worship or so aggrandize, to put on a pedestal and praise, things like this. And we find ourselves doing that a lot. I find myself, and I try to do the best I can to eliminate it, I guess, suppress it, detox, That's what I'm saying. Like, God will test you, whether it's 10 days, 10 years. Every day is a good churning out of testing and challenges that you must overcome. But sometimes we find ourselves on the other side of the wrong fence, not knowing that, the company we keep, or the jobs that we work, or, anything like that had malicious intent behind it. You could be working on towards your goals, working a job, and then the government all of a sudden just fire you. So it's like, yeah, you gave your same services of that Daniel did to the government, and then they fire you. So be mindful of making sure that your whole sitting, your whole mind, body, and spirit, your abilities start with the rootedness in you first. That'll help you fortify that discernment to be able to not partake in the things, even if your life is on the line, even if you were, coerced, pressured, back in the corner, all of these different things, these intimidative factors. Look at what happened during COVID. Prime example. They cornered everybody. They made pilots take the Jabberwocky. They made military take the Jabberwocky. whoso falleth down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harpet, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden king, or golden image. He has specifically told us not to be worshiping statues, wooden statues, graven images. So when you're looking at the Trumps of the world, the Obamas of the world, the cowboys of the world, the anything, you are not supposed to put anything in high praise above the Most High. Point blank, period. I don't care how spectacular the event is. I don't care how many photo ops you get with this person. It's not worth your soul. It's not worth the troubled days that are going to come to you by obliviously or naively falling into the snares and bear traps. God said he woke you up and you ain't dumb no more. God woke you up and said that you ain't dumb no more. Stop acting like you dumb. Stop putting yourself in a position where you could be detrimentally damaged like this. Puckering up to white zaddy. Going to Lady Liberty, Miss Becky. And it changes your whole soul. Oh yeah, I'm down for the cause. And then you find yourself, guilty by association. Like I said, you got in that car, you rode with the homie did what he did, and you find yourself in that predicament. Now that homie is saying that you the one that drove and you the one that did it. Happens all the time. And whosoever falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And it's crazy how us as man think we're kings and gods, that we can execute executions, that we can distribute out these type of activities. God didn't call us to be partaking in any of these activities. Thou shalt not kill. Just cause somebody ain't rocking with you, what you gonna throw them in a furnace? What, because somebody don't want to be your friend no more? You gonna go scratch up and bust their windows out of their car? You gonna go be king and queen petty? That's what happened when we live in a world where it makes you choose sides. What team are you gonna play for? It makes this barbaric gladiatorial fight to the end mentality that we have. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden images which I have set up? That sound like Trump, y'all. That sound like Trump. That sound like every one of us. It's crazy when it's like you ain't. Man, it's deep. You gotta see this. It's not even subtle because it's like right in your face. But don't play with God. Don't play with God. Don't get tricked into sitting here being a Swifty. Don't get tricked into putting anybody on a high pedestal more than God. Period. Now, if ye be ready that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast, ye shall, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Who is that God? And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? And that's what we're seeing. Oh, did that just do that? Hold on, y'all. It does that all the time. Let me know if y'all can hear me on. We live on TikTok, Instagram, Kick, X, Rumble, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Um, please, my sound just went out. I don't know if it did. If you can hear me, please well, at least TikTok don't. You're fine. TikTok and Instagram, you're fine. But all other platforms, if you're able to let me know that you can actually hear me. If not, then I have to restart this board over. So, um, let me just restart it. I don't know what happened. I just hope that you can hear me. As soon as I looked up, it popped off. What's going on? I rebuke you, Satan. You ain't finna sit here and be messing with me. We gonna get this together. Hopefully that works. I hope it does. No audio now. Yeah, I don't know what happened. All right, so we are gonna turn that off. I'm gonna fix it later. So, in doing so, all right. So fix that. Please let me know if you can hear me now. I just took that off so it can just be without that. So, that sucks. It's unfortunate. It's okay. The show must go on. The show must go on. So, yeah. All right. Hopefully that works. Please let me know if it has. Everything should be up. No problem. All right. My apologies, beloveds. All right. So, let's see if we can do this without that. So, and who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? The Almighty. You keep messing with God and keep challenging him. You're going to find out the hard way. Let me make sure this is up. Can you hear me now? I don't know if you can hear me now. So, oh man. I'm halfway there too. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know what just happened. Crazy. Anyways, I don't know. That's crazy. All right, so let's see. Deliver you, and who is this? And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer these in this manner. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Ooh, ain't trying to hear that, huh? When you got extreme courage to be able to go up against and like gut check, call out the dishonorables for not being honorable. And when you're not partaking in it, it's like, nah, I can't support the dishonorables. I'm too honorable to sit there and, But then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form, an expression on his face was full of fury. His visage the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah, he was pissed. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont or usually to be heated. One of the 7 times more than it would usually be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Yeah, their mantles, leggings, and turbans was thrown in there with it. So, therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent or severe, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished. He was astonished, and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning, or the door of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair on their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of the fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Wow. So you're trying to force us to worship things that you know are going to cause us to go and be on the bad side with God. No, we ain't falling for that temptation. I don't care how many fires you try to throw us in, no matter how many times you try to ridicule. I fear the Lord more than I. What you talking about? You can have this flesh. My spirit is free. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar, the king unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in the earth, in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house, and flourishing in my palace, or prospering in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. Then came the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and interpretations thereof. Thus were the visions of mine hid in my bed. I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the tree of all the earth. It visibly extended. So you had trees that were able to touch the firmament. So when you think of movies like Pan's Labyrinth or, you know, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk or, Star Wars, or even Avatar, you know, and to see how the world was possibly a completely different world, that you may have had all of these type of beings and beasts and, flourishing across the whole world. And it could be anything where it's like the movie Immortal Engines, where you just excavate the whole world. And it's interesting because I have been to 46 states. I've been to every nook and cranny of this country. And many of these areas, I promise y'all, they look like the immortal machines. It looked like somebody for centuries or millennia chopped down all this stuff, cut down all these trees, excavated these lands. What was going on, beloveds, before any of our modern day lifestyle? What was going on? Because the world that we're living in now is not really that damn normal. It is not okay. It's something weird. That you would have all these natural, beautiful, holistic things that actually help us, and we have conformed and been oppressively capitulative to artificialities, synthetics, the fake, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, people want the fake rims, the fake hair, the fake nails, the fake BBLs, the fake sugar, the fake food. You see these wonders and you still don't even believe them when you see these things. I've been to the Devil's Tower in Wyoming. I've been across many of these places around the country, and it really looks like petrified trees, like long ago. It looks like something was going on long ago that the powers that be have truly convinced and suppressed this information or whatever's going on. So be mindful of that all of these things definitely visibly extended across the land. So now that we have, what is that? The fact that we have ingratiated skyscrapers being the artificial trees that touch the sky. You got to understand, this is Babylon that we're talking about right now. This is Babylon that we're talking about right now. And you had many kings beforehand that have been blasphemous, talking about, I shall build something as great that it will be able to touch the heavens. Look at Dubai. Tallest building in the world. Everybody's been doing any and everything they can to try to reach to the heavens. All these Gentiles and all the 83 have been doing everything they can to defy God, to just like break in and hack in to heaven. Can you imagine if these evil people hacked into heaven or broke in, anything like that, just completely re-engineer all the good stuff? God is good. He'd kick his fallen angels out. And he makes sure that the pearly gates, he makes sure them pearly gates turn away people that ain't supposed to be and allow in the people that are supposed to be. So yes, we need to be mindful of all of the things that have been visibly presented to us. And then we still look at it like, I don't know. No. God has been visibly, physically showing us everything, every download that you've been getting in meditation and prayer, every clairaudient sound you hear when you're out in the mist, every clairvoyant vision that you may get, every clairsentient emotion or feeling you may come across that wakes you up to God cracking your code of you being able to see your own purpose. When God starts showing you these things, you would never go back to thinking that any of these other devices or any of these other things that people can do, supplicate, or substitute the job of the Most High. Yet we still ride behind these Dr. Fauci's of the world. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all. See? And it was meat for all. So it's interesting because that's the second one a couple times, but that's a couple times where it is mentioned that the meat that we're supposed to be eating is the fruits and vegetables. It's interesting. Like, yeah, we can partake in meat, and that's part of the sacrifice, but the true meat is the fruits and vegetables. Like, even though I cook that chicken, I'm still like, very health conscious and making sure that I am more, pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, gluten free, stuff like that. And it's not easy. It's not easy putting down all of the junk. I grew up being a garbage disposal. So to be able to see my skin look better, my beard, shout out to Lisa Cabrera for the beard oil. I still keep it. But to know that the Most High gave us plentiful, and all he asks for us is to replant the seeds, to reproduce. Not to just go to the beach and throw your beer bottles on the ground and they float off into the ocean and you just go back about your merry way. That's not what this is about. But it is about that, because now we need to actually point out and address. That's like going to Six Flags and not paying the admission. You're going to enjoy Mother Nature's attractions. And this is how you repair, by throwing your trash and your beer bottles on the ground? Shame on you. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all. The beasts of the field had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all flesh was fed of it. So it's interesting, like that's crazy. That's amazing here. That's very Avatar. That under the tree of life, that all life was able to live. The fact that they removed all the trees is removing how rooted we are to the earth. That's why you're seeing many of these atrocities happening across the world, because it's removing the gunk that thought that it was the substitute for the real and natural and organic. The fact that God is completely allowing this to happen right now. Bringing back harmony amongst all living creatures. And it just puts into perspective the tree of life. Like, you can see that we were able to eat, the beasts were able to get shade, the fowls of the earth, they were able to fly freely. We should not be stressing and wanting. Like, the birds were fed and we fed off the birds. We were fed just by the fruits and vegetables of the tree of life. And even the beast of the earth that rested and took shelter and shade under these trees of life, humongous trees. We were blessed to fortunately be able to partake in the beasts that we were able to eat. Now, we ain't supposed to be eating all beasts. We ain't supposed to be eating all fowls and birds out there. We ain't supposed to be eating all animals of the earth. If you want to, we'll check for that. I'm forgetting right now, it just blanked me. But Uh, there's a whole list of things that we're not supposed to partake in and eat. Shellfish, anything without scales. I know, ladies, I know y'all love y'all hookah and crab legs. I know them Dungeness and all that. No, it's abomination to your temple. It's an abomination to your temple. I've truly cut back on all that. I promise you, I was a garbage disposal. I used to eat all this stuff. The moment I stopped eating it, I can. When you eat things, it's like you take on the essence of that whatever you eat. So if you're eating a crab, you're taking on the crab's mentality of what they do when they're underground scavenging, eating up the dead. Same thing with pork. These pigs are the natural garbage men of the earth. And we eat these things. We've been convinced. That's why I say, people, you got to understand and think. Every one of these seven deadly sins, all of the laws, all of the ten commandments have been reversed to where they said, no, it's okay for you to steal. It's okay to kill. It's okay to covet thy neighbor. It's okay to slander and be a harlot. It's okay for the haram. We have to think, people. They played a very intricate game on us. They played it, and we fell for it. And we lost. We lost epically. So when you lose a game, when you lose a football game, you have to sit there and go across the field and shake your opponent's hand and say, good game. See you next time. Yeah, I lost to you now, but I'm not going to lose again. I'm going to learn from these losses that I've indulged in. Whew. It's amazing how we all used to live in harmony under one, and now we're all spread apart from the tree of life. And now it's like the field of death, where everything is scattered and everything is scarce and depleted and dried up. It's become Mad Max. We've given power to the powers that be. We've given power to the powers that be who really don't have any power, the power to control us, because we felt like we got capitulative and too lazy to want to actually get up and operate and figure it out. God put fish here, but He gave you your hands to take a branch from that tree of life to be able to create a fishing rod to be able to feed yourself. And you will be repaid abundantly. But when you start eating, partaking in all these other things, you change. I could see how my body was different from all the pork that I ate, all the seafood I ate that I wasn't supposed to be eating. You ain't supposed to eat eagles, vultures. No, we got to be mindful of the stuff that we've been eating lately. It is thou, O King, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reacheth unto heaven, and thy dominion to the end of the earth. And whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beast of the field till 7 times pass over him. Wow. So we allowed the king to cut down our greatness. It's almost like Delilah cutting the dreads. Like we allow these kings to control us, to allow us to enjoy or take some type of subtle comfort in our own destruction. Oh yeah, cut down the tree that we actually do need and everything else need, and we did. Yeah, we don't need the tree. We just need to keep the roots in the ground. Man, we've lost our way. We've lost our way, beloveds. This is the interpretation, O King, and this is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my Lord, the King, that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. And whomsoever he will, he gave it to the Most High children, which is the beloved children of Israel. All praise to the Most High, great glory. It's very good to hear that. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee. After that thou shalt have known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O King, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thy iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a lengthening of thy tranquility. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace, or about the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon, that I have built for the house of the kingdom, by the might of my power, and for thy honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the king is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like bird's claws. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes unto heaven, and understanding returned unto me. Man, thank you, God, for this right now. You just gave me a crazy download that I did not see. Oh, I did not see that in my own life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I just got chills. Sorry, y'all. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes unto heaven, and my understanding returned unto me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand, or say unto him, What doest thou? Like, don't be questioning God, like, what are you doing? He knows exactly what he's doing. What are you doing? That's our problem, is that we be in everybody else's business. We all nosy. Everybody want to spill the tea. Instead of focusing on what are you doing? God is good, man. I realize that. At the same okay. At the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom my honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. All his works are true. All his work that he has done in my life is true. The Most High is in the midst, and judgment is here, y'all. Chapter 5. Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar, whiles he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem, that the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines might drink therein. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was in Jerusalem. And the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine, and praised the gods of gold, and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. And the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaister of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another, or knocked. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. Then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished, or perplexed. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into his banquet house. And the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of thy father light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father the king, I say thy father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers, for as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams, and showing of hard sentences, and dissolving of doubts, were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing, and make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But they could not show the interpretation of the king. And I have heard of thee, that thou canst make interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now, if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet or purple, and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shalt be the third ruler of the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar, chapter 5, gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor, and for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he would, whom he would, whom he would he slew, and whom he would he kept alive, and whom he would he set up, and whom he would put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. That sound like, oh man, that sound like me. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointeth over it whomsoever he will. And thou his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thy heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the God in whose hand thy breath is. Great glory. And whose are all thy ways hast thou not glorified. Then was the part of the hand, or literally the palm or fingers, part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, tekel, upharsin. Mene, tekel, upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Peres, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Median, or the Median, took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So 32 years old. One of those. I think so. Chapter 6. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 112 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage or loss. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents, princes, because an excellent spirit was in them, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion or some charge against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none or no charge. Uh, they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Mm. So when we start making it and stuff like that, we forget how humble we need to be as we start ascending. It's like the more you ascend, the more humble you need to be. It's almost like Mr. T. Mr. T used to wear these raggedy shoes. I do the same thing. It's crazy because it humbles me. I know where I came from. I know where I'm at, and I know where I'm going. And the more that I get there, the more humility is just it's like a good drink, good food. Just anything. It just nourishes you, knowing that you are on that path of greatness, but at the same time, it is making sure that your ego is dead, that you have the most full cup of humility and not the mentality to be able to put on these chains and get all of these accolades and these positions and get overly big headed about, oh, I'm the king, I'm this, and, be given all of these, concubines and women and servants and land and things like that. And we start getting drunk off our own ego, you know, silver and gold, brass, iron, wood, and stone. We start making these statues of ourselves to be idolized and worshiped by the people. It's crazy. So deep. So deep. Okay. Then said these men, okay. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. So it's interesting. It's like they don't even know nothing about his God, but they find it very suitable for them to tell him about his God when they don't know anything about. You know what I'm saying? It's like you over here worshiping yours, but you're gonna tell me how I need. No. Like I'm in my own lane, not getting stopped by traffic, and you're trying to question me on how I am cultivating and building my relationship with the Most High God. And all you're doing is trying to poke and prod at the greatness that God has. It's like none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. We do the best we can and try to be the best example of what God has allowed us to be. And sometimes we run into situations where people will test the Most High through you. And they'll test you through the Most High. People will ridicule you, shame you, insult you, and question your intelligence and question your faith or what you have to bring to the table. They're not even in the building. They're not even in the vicinity. They're light years far over that way. We have to stop focusing on, and I'm learning this myself, stop focusing on things, stop giving mental real estate to things that are not conducive and beneficial to your life. Stop giving any type of credence to anybody who does not have any validation. The only validation comes from the Most High. If the Most High is speaking to you in your spirit, you listen to that. You can't trust man, you can't trust woman. They're flawed, they're inconsistent, they're greedy, they're selfish, they're mean, they're everything under the sun. We are ingratiated or surrounded by sin. We're surrounded by these negative characteristics. We're surrounded by these habits and patterns that we must have the mental fortitude, the testicular fortitude, and the gut. You must have the compassion for yourself to stop allowing yourself to hurt yourself. You need to call back that Walmart refund back on yourself. Because the more you start going down that line of, oh yeah, I'm with the Most High, but you're putting on these chains and you taking these job positions in the government, you got all of this. I'm telling you, it's crazy. You have all of these things that are against God, and then when somebody questions you about you going away from God, it's like you are literally going in the lane of these folks, and then getting mad that they're questioning you. Mm-mm. You can't get mad because they are trying to find fault in you. They don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you fail. You got haters, man. You got people who do not want to see you. And evil will work together to try to take you out in every fashion. They could not find any flaws in him. So they have to ban you. They have to kick you out of the nation. They have to, turn off the spigot, like they're in control, like they're God. Don't let nobody disrespect how God made you out to be. Don't disrespect yourself first and foremost on how God has made you out to be. Do not lose your faith when the world is troubling you. Stand 10 toes down when you are in that battle or that fight or that war. If you fall down, don't fall backwards, you fall forwards. Being stoic is heroic. It's okay to say no. It's okay to back up. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to give up a good opportunity to get to a greater opportunity. Forgiveness and reconciliation. Life is short. Your time is precious. Please do not be distracted. Do not allow yourself to be distracted. Do not allow the world to distract you from your God-given, passionate purpose. Great glory. Mm-hmm. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said unto them, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. So it's like, you telling me to follow your laws, man's laws, and disregard God's laws? That's what you just said right now. So you telling all the folks to consult together and establish a royal statute, not the holy commandments. So y'all coming together to brainstorm your own Ouroboros. If it's not the word, it's absurd. It's not. What are you doing? What are we doing? They thinking that they gonna be casting people down into the den of lions, but you're the ones gonna be. It's like, and that's why I have to be mindful of my words, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. I've said things to family, friends, exes that reverberated around and came back and smacked me in the face. Like, oh, you're the one that got it. I take that humbly though, but just to be able to see that how easy it is to fall into this. Think about 1776. They signed the what is it? American Constitution and stuff like that. These men came together and said, "In God we trust." That we will be writing this out in the name of God. That we speak for God. That we're the conduit. That we. Mm-mm. And lo and behold, look at where the country is now. You can slap a sticker on it and say that in God we trust. You can slap a sticker on it and say it's organic. You can slap a sticker on it and say that it's sugar free. You can slap a sticker on it and say that it's Diet Coke. Does not make it. Just because you can write all these laws, statutes, and commandments, these laws and amendments and stuff like that, does not mean that it's written through the Spirit or through the eyes of the Most High. And they've been convincing in their argument. We've had to be oppressively capitulative to this formality, to this system, to this paradigm shift, to where we've gone from natural and organic and holistic to this fabricated, synthesized, artificial substitute of true universal essence. It's crazy. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. So he's like, just because y'all doing all that don't mean that I'm not about to stop worshiping my God because y'all want to sit here and come together with all y'all different nations and come together with your own little diabolical oxymoronic loopholes to kind of pigeonhole yourself or to try to get one above on the people that you are suppressing. In the midst of y'all operating like that and y'all being in y'all blessing at the time, spending your whole blessing, y'all cashed out and y'all went all in and cashed out on trying to destroy the Aboriginal people of this world. Like y'all really spent hundreds of years trying to take this out and it didn't even make a freaking dent. Yes, you did make a dent. Yes, you did do some stuff. Yes, this stuff did happen. Yes, we do get pressurized and get intimidated and the polar effect of you better follow or you are going to be burned at the stake type of thing. For us to still have the mentality to look towards Jerusalem, to look through the window of opportunity and still pray 3 times a day to my Heavenly Father. To disregard all of the Dr. Fauci's of the world, to be able to look at it and be like, my God, I worship you. Yes, we're around a crazy world. But as I stand here, I give you praise and thanks on my hands and knees. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. I promise y'all, I'll be trying not to. It take me a minute to do these Bible readings sometimes because it hits home, y'all. It hits home so hard for me. I try not to be a big, emotional water bag up here. I know I could be talking about any and everything else, football season starting, and just all of this other stuff, which is cool. I ain't knocking all of that. Yeah. But when it comes to this, like this is for my soul. This is for your soul. This is for we're trying to save. And if I can save myself any extra steps or heartache, it's like being smarter, not working harder. But to be able to save myself the headache and the heartache from going down beaded paths that I know lead to dead ends or cul-de-sacs. The fact that even in the midst of all of the chaos, we still kneel and give All praise and thanks to the Most High. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the kings concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Poof. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day, knowing that he is a child that is in captivity. Y'all took this man captive. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all cannot forget that part. Like, you took this man captive. Y'all were you were going to take him out. He came to actually help you. Be like, no, don't take me out. I'm here to help. This is what I do, but if what I do can be able to help, that don't mean I need to be. That don't mean I need to conform. That don't mean that I need to take on the embodiment of what you do or who you are. That's like you. That's you. That's who you do. I'm a congratulator. I'm not a hater. But I'm going to be over here worshiping my God. I'm cool with that. Are y'all cool with that? Because I don't want no problems. Y'all come knocking on my door when y'all need my help. And I help. But when I'm not helping y'all and I'm in my own quiet space, oh, it's a problem. Man. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. So he over here trying to convince Daniel to come on this side of the pendulum and to be blasphemous, to be, like unrighteous, unclean. People would do everything to try to convince you otherwise, to be, so deep. Convince you to be otherwise. Like, come on, man. You know that over there ain't working out. You know what I'm saying? Come over here, join our gang. We over here getting money. We getting girls. We getting chains. You can have all the statues and the silver and the brass and the wood and stones. Come on, man. What? You don't need to be doing all that, man. Just come on. So we find ourselves troubled, conflicted, the peer pressure being pulled in every direction. You're going to get pulled in every direction. You are going to get pulled in every direction of this world right now, y'all. Every commitment that you've made is going to, we're in the middle of this is almost the end of the year already. But this whole year has been a questioning. It's 11/11 right now. All praise. Thank you. It has been where you have been called into question about who you are and what side are you on, who are you worshiping, what you doing. And so this has been a year of that call out. And to see this happening right now, that people are trying to gut check you, pocket check you, and it's like, okay, he don't want Daniel to go into the lion's den, but it's like what he's doing is like contradicting what all the other people were like, so you putting me in a bad spot, but I know that you looked out and you was a homie. It's like, yeah, you get conflicted like that when you're played on both sides like that. It's crazy. All right, let me go back. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Then the king commanded. So if y'all saying y'all don't want that to change, then why are you changing it? Why are you changing the commandments that the Most High God put in place? If you don't want that to change, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want to move the goalposts. You want to rearrange the board to work in your favor, to be beneficial to you. You saying you don't want nobody to change your rules or your commandments, but you didn't change the rules completely and been blasphemous towards the Most High God. So in doing so, you already committed the infraction first. Because whatever you did or whatever you wrote or whatever y'all was involved in was not of the Most High's. So to be able to see that now, to where it's like somebody trying to make you feel like you are wrong, more wrong in what you're doing than they are. Nobody's righter is righter than the next person's right. Nobody's wrong is wronger than the next person's wrong. Sin is sin across the whole board. Sin is sin completely. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his Lord, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither, see, it's crazy because people will sit there and like wish death upon you or pray on your downfall and stuff like that. Like do all of these things to like, I need to prove a point. You need to prove me right. I'm willing to go against all the gods. That's what they're saying. I'm willing to go against all the gods to make sure that I'm right. I'm willing to go against your God. I'm willing to battle your God to see if he can do what you over here praying and when you should be over here at our party, because we over here in real life. We over here down over here. You over here tripping. So let's see if your God delivers you. You see what I'm saying? How much of this very immature, childish ego has put the people in this very weird place. Change not concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then Daniel said unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel and hath shut the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me. Ooh, that sent chills in my spine. God always sends his guardian angels. He always sends an angel to protect you. You ever been in a situation where you almost got hit by a car and that car just veered off in another direction? It's crazy how our angels, our planetary family, they guide us. They keep us straight. If we keep listening and looking out for the signs, they're always there. But the Most High will do miraculous and amazing things to make sure that your enemies, his enemies, are never victorious. They always fall epically with egg on their face and doo-doo. So yeah. saying his innocency was found in him because he prayed to the Most High. The Most High was like, "No, I ain't finna hurt you. You innocent. You on the right path. These folks over here is doing whatever they doing, but I'm not gonna hurt you because you actually, you know what I'm saying." So, and also before thee, O King, have I done no hurt. And it's interesting, like when you ain't done no hurt, but I know people will be like, good happens, even bad happens to good people. Sure. Look at Jacob's trouble. We don't know what these people have done in their former lives or anything like that to be a lesson unto us. But just know that in our perception, our perspective, we look at the people that we love and care about as good people. We ingratiate ourselves in that. We take that to heat. We take that to heart. And believing that the people that we love and care about are good people, great people, that they ain't never done no wrong in their past life. We all got sent here from something disgusting that we did back in our past life through our mother's portal to come back here and fix it again, to get back on square with the Most High. You shouldn't have to worry if you ain't did no hurt. You shouldn't have to worry if you ain't committed no sin, if you ain't been out here killing nobody, stealing, coveting thy neighbor's goods, whether it's his wife, stealing from him, anything like that. Slander, gossip. If you're not doing no hurt, why are you in fear? If you ain't got nothing to hide, why are you in fear? Why are you quiet all of a sudden? Why are you so extra animated and, in a sense of this weird, uncomfortable urgency to try to douse you being, oh, I don't want nobody to see the error of my ways or the really messed up person that I am. It's like, yeah, if you ain't done no hurt, God gonna deliver you. If you doing the work to show thyself approved, you're gonna be all right. What you tripping about? Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. He believed in his God. Thank you. Thank you, Heavenly Father. He believed in his God. It's interesting, when I believed in my God during COVID, and I watched everybody believe in all of these Dr. Fauci gods and Pfizer and Moderna. And I watched everybody I knew change. I lost my father during those years. And when they did his autopsy, they said that he had COVID. Healthy man. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go, obviously. But knowing that when you believe in the Most High God, unmovable, unshakable, I promise you, there will be no weapon formed against you that shall prosper. You have to have the unfazable faith of a mustard seed, that you will grow through that hurt and through that dirt to get to the peaceful place that the Most High wants you at, so you can be able to fulfill your purpose. We live in a world that is full of distractions that are trying to impede in between you and your God-given passionate purpose every step of the way. Man. No hurt was found upon him because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them and them, their children and their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and brake all their bones in pieces wherever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree. Behold, peace be unto all of you guys, because all you have wanted was chaos and destruction. All you wanted to do was hurt people. So peace be unto you. I hope that you find peace. I don't know why you complain. I don't know why you so angry and so mad. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. Do you love thy neighbor if the devil's next door? That is the question. Do you love thy neighbor if the devil's next door? Do you do unto others as you would want them done unto you? Do you give love, peace, and happiness for it to be reciprocated in the same capacity, even far greater, with love, peace, and happiness? You have to be able to give in order to get. And even if you don't get, as long as you gave, you did your part. That's what God is looking at you. We're in spiritual court. Peace be multiplied unto you, because if you ain't got no peace, the Most High is going to handle you with his fury and his wrath because of you worshiping other gods, things that are not God or godly. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble in fear before the God of Daniel. Oof. For he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. It's interesting because it's the second time around that the good brother has convinced these kings that this is what I do. Like, I'm great at what I do. Why you keep trying to question my talent and insult my intelligence? This is what I do. Quit trying to sit here and get me to be anything other than what God has made me to be. And when Daniel had to show them back to back to back to back to back however many times he needed to, and they're like, man, I'm convinced. Like, whatever I thought I was worshiping ain't got nothing on what you worshiping, because you actually came out of a fire and you came out of a lion's den. So all these other people who've been hating on you, they got to go to the burner to see if they matching up. Because even if they going in there, you're not hating on them going into the burner. You don't even want them to go in the burner. You want peace be unto them. But it's interesting how people want you to be in the lion's den or you be in the furnace in the burner. And when you are in the burner and when you are in the lion's den, you come out unscathed. You come out of that fire forged stronger than ever before. You come out of that lion's den more ferocious than all of the lions in that lion's den combined. That is the power of the Most High God. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions, or the hands of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And that is the end of Daniel's chapter 6. Ooh. Don't change who you are, beloveds, for what the world might be trying to tell you who you should be. You be exactly what the Most High called you to be. You don't change that for nothing or nobody. You stand 10 toes down because we are and we have always been in a very long war. We have been in a war zone. To be now at this place now where we're getting to peace. So I hope all of my brothers and sisters out there find peace in your life. Please take this time right now to reflect on all the things that are in your life, whatever's going on. Find peace. And if you are out here sinning and grinning, I hope that you find the meditation in your heart to be able to put it down, turn away, put down the unclean thing, to do better, give yourself a fighting chance, to stop sinning, to do something different. Give yourself the greatest chance. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't you want to see your body much more healthier? Don't get those books. Don't you want yourself to be better? Don't you want your family to be better, your kids to be better? It's time to be better. Everything that we've been doing for such a long time has not worked on the other side, worshiping all of these other gods. It's amazing that it said that Daniel stood in front of his window and prayed 3 times. It's crazy because I'm trying not to get emotional because I literally didn't know that was going to be said, but I do that every day, right in front of my window, y'all. When the sun comes up, it raises up in the east from where it's at right here. And the sun just shines on me and I just soak it up. But I sit there and I cry and I pray and I meditate. And I ask God to forgive me. Because I don't want to go back. I fear the Most High so much. I wanted to put down all that other craziness and partake in. You grow. Sometimes you may not know. And you have to grow from these things. Sometimes you do know. And you continue to keep doing it. It's time to click on that discipline now and turn off the spigot of the things that are not beneficial to you. Not conducive to your mind, body, and spirit right now, y'all. Start eating healthier. Detox yourself. Get away from everything. Unplug yourself. Unplug yourself. Don't be ashamed of praising God for the good and the bad. Don't just praise him when it's just good and cuss his name out when it's bad. That's blasphemy anyways. But when you're seeing somebody like Daniel who's operating in his strength and in his essence and in his presence, and you're seeing the world around you hate, ridicule, and mock, yeah, it's splitting hairs. It is literally you against the world at that point, because the world does not understand the Most High unless you lead by example. Just like Daniel just led by example, you got to prove it or move it. You got to show up and show out. If you in the game, stay focused. Stay focused. Keep practicing. Keep rehearsing. Keep working at what you are great at. If you're not in the game and the Most High took you off, took you out of the game, put you on the bench, put you on the sidelines, don't be no little brat, temper tantrums, screaming and hollering that you ain't getting your way and things ain't working out for you. The Most High took you out of the game and put you on the bench so you could take a break, so you could take a time out, so you could see the game that's in front of you, that has been getting played the way that it wants to play itself in front of you. So when the Most High is taking you out of the game, don't be mad when the Most High is taking you out of the game. It's taking you out of the game so you can not be losing. I know that most people would not understand that logic. Oh, you're supposed to be in the game to win. No, not this particular game. The Most High is taking you out of the game so you can win. Everybody that's in the game is under the falsification that they are winning, but it's Oreo cookies. It has no nutritional value. It's short lived. Look at everything that we have, that most of the brothers and sisters have gotten involved in. It's been short lived. The scamming, the scheming, the robbing, the stealing, the killing, all of the stuff has been short lived. The sleeping with every man, women sleeping with every man, and man sleeping with every woman now, and diseases everywhere, all over the place. Your sexual energy is exchanging, and you're causing all of these different diseases to pop up now. We're intaking all of these different formalities of stimulation. That is what all of these other nations want you to consume. We are the biggest consumers and not producers of anything. And if we can produce one thing, that is love, grace, humility, a smile, joy, because of what we've been through. That's all you can do, is smile, knowing that you went through what you went through, and you made it. You made it. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here to witness the Most High. I'm glad you're here to witness the forging of that fire that you had to go through, that you didn't get burnt up in, that you maintained having the faith of that mustard seed, that you did not get burnt up in the scorching of the earth right now. I'm trying not to cry because I know that, whew, God has scorched this earth. And out of all the OGs that we've lost, for me to be still here standing, to be able to do the work that the Most High called me to do right now, ain't nothing more honorable, y'all. Ain't nothing more honorable to me to make sure that our next generations are taken care of the right way. I take that duty. I take all of my duties serious, but at least that one right there is like, it takes me back to Genesis, where, you know, what was that, Sarah? She didn't have any kids. They didn't have kids until their old age, and he was like, don't trip about having no kids right now. I've given you a multitude of kids in the stars. The amount of kids you're going to have is the same as the multitude of the stars in the universe. And that used to bother me because I'm 40, you're going to be 40. And people are like, oh, something, you got red flags if you don't. But it's like, I'd rather be responsible. I don't want to be irresponsible with that responsibility, knowing that God has given us the blessing to be able to plant plentiful. And to be able to work out that gunk, that dirt, and that hurt, so you don't plant seeds of evil and hate. We have to be mindful of that, because we can get easily tricked and stimulated and coerced into taking a side of the other teams, because they got the chains and they got the accolades and all of these different things. I promise you, beloveds, it ain't what it seems. It sounds good. It looks good. It feels good. But before you cross that street, before you cross that road, slow down, beloved. Stop and think. Look both ways and listen, because God is trying to tell you something. God is trying to tell you something right now, and I hope that you receive this with love, because I do love you. If you're here right now, know that I love you from the bottom of my heart, because you're here because you not only love me, but you love God. You love how the Most High has literally gotten you through all of the worst. He's gotten you through all of the worst. He's gotten you through all of your worst. Because he's gotten me through a lot of my worst. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High, our earthly mother, our guardian angels, and our beloved brother Jesus, aka Yahweh Shai. I pray that all of my brothers and sisters out there seek help, find your peace, find your gifts, find your talents. Don't be swayed and persuaded by the evils of this world. I know it's hard. It's all around us. But be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing. When you stop touching the unclean thing, the Most High will receive you, and He will truly be a father unto you, and He will guide you through those fires and through those lion dens. So I want you to not be scared to be who you are. Stand up, hold your chin up. It's not an L, it's a lesson. And you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. So